All right, guys, so watch this video for Thursday already. Wow, Thursday, May 24th. If you couldn't make it to chat today, you missed a pretty nice day. I actually got a couple screenshots. Here's one that Wayne called CARA, right out of our whole number inflection points free day trading webinar that we taught. And the link is below in the description if you want to check out all our free webinars if you haven't seen them. But look at this. It hit right at 14 early, came back down. You can see the nice gap up. I'm showing you 5-minute candles here. And then on the retest of 14, there was a big seller there. Wayne liked it right through that seller of 14. And this, I took the screenshot 15 minutes later where it went to, what, 1550 from the 14 break call. But it actually went to 1688, which I can show you here. Look at this. Look at this candle today. Intraday, there's that entry Wayne called right there. Ended up closing almost at the highs of the day. Huge call there. I called HEAR. Again, now I'm going to show you the reason for the call. You had the early pop. HEAR hadn't had what I call an afternoon breakout since it was like over 20 bucks. It's come in a few days. After hours yesterday, they put out an offering. They announced an offering. It was only like 1 million shares. So I got on the mic and I said, hey, everybody, I like the 1640 resistance here and kind of underneath it here, and then it hit it again here, and then it started to come back up again. I said if it breaks this 1640, you've got the high of day break just above. That would make this the first, the first afternoon breakout in 5 or 6 days. I think it's 5 or 6 days. Anyway, since it was over 20, the offering is behind us now, and I think a lot of people are going to take the view that, okay, a little over 1 million shares isn't a big deal, and after that it was off to the races. So that one went to 1749 from the 1641 call and stop about 25 cents below, but I don't think it ever came back and retested the entry after the pop. So a couple really nice ones today. I'll slide this over as well. This is since I think my last 4 trading days. I think Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, so I'm pretty proud of this, and I'm not, to me it's not about having huge gains. It's about consistency, and the room's firing on all cylinders right now. People are finding great setups. I'm being very selective in my trading, and absolutely helping with my confidence to just wait for those proper setups. Sometimes you can get complacent and start jumping in on everything you see, and that's when you fall apart. So I'm treating trading like a sniper and waiting for the proper setups. Just showed you a couple there in CARA and HEAR. Let's go back to the SPY real quick. So the watch list for tomorrow, SPY gap down today. Felt like the world was over. Not really, but anyway. And then right back up. So another strong day. Market's, fairly strong. So here's what I'm watching tomorrow. This one barely made my list. It almost doesn't feel right. But you know what? It doesn't cost me anything to put it on a chart. It did run from 75 cents to $1. Still didn't even hit 1 million shares. 695,000 shares. Very, very doubtful I'll trade this one. I have a feeling it's too thin. But, I ran my unusual volume scan, and this one popped up. And the only reason it made the list at all is because it had extra volume, and it topped out right at $1. So right back to these whole number inflection points. If this gets, we get a big seller right at $1 tomorrow, and it gives a clean setup. I love it through $1. So we'll see. Probably my least favorite of the list, though, going into tomorrow. OPGN, you can't really see much here. I'll have to zoom in. But you can see now, and as I zoom in, you can see the extra volume there, and then I'm going to switch to like 15-minute candles so you get a better look. And I'm going back, 7 or 8 days here. So now you can kind of see the relative volume that it had today versus the last couple of weeks, right? So it is a pretty nice pop. Go to 5-minute candles here real quick. Kind of closing in the middle of that range, though, that it had from the low to the high of day. Anyway, it was enough volume to get on my radar. And OGEN, another stock, had big volume today. Again, this doesn't look like much. And this one, if you notice, I always try to remember and remind people to look at the daily chart and see how a stock acts. And OGEN, just glancing at this, you should say to yourself, hey, this thing gets slapped back down every time it tries to mount a rally. And if you do think that way, you're one step ahead of a lot of people, right? So you get a big pop here, and you can see all the spikes, but then right back down. But strong volume for this one. Here it is, the intraday again. So you can see the massive volume. I'll go to 15 so you can kind of look out a couple weeks and see how big the volume was today. So we'll see. It's got nice support below. Had a high back here, recent high of 174. Today's high 165. So over 165, then you could say 175 breaks this high, and then maybe you run to 2. So there is some potential here. And again, it doesn't cost me anything to put it on a chart. Really not in love with that one either. AVGR, massive volume, almost 50 million shares today. Breaking out this big island down here that it broke out and actually closed fairly strong. So I want to watch this for a follow-through day tomorrow. SMRT had earnings after the bell. That's why it's on watch. It's been pretty strong lately. Closing at 320. People placing their bets today before earnings. And in after hours, it's trading at 364. So potential gap and go tomorrow. We're going to watch that one. ADOM. And a really nice 2-day pop. And then 2 days lower on declining volume. This one is a pretty good setup for a turn back up tomorrow. We'll see. See what it does on an intraday basis. TYHT was on bounce watch today. I never took a trade in this one today, but it did close kind of strong. And again, I see that whole number 2 above that might act as an inflection point. Today's high, 194. So I do think it's worth watching. It's also worth noting that it only traded 247,000 today. So even on the big gap up day on earnings, it traded 4 million. But I do like the fact that it seems to have found a bottom at the 8-day. So we'll see if it has a follow-through day tomorrow. SNES had the big move, then the gap up and kind of that shooting star look, and then today sells off but then closes pretty close to where it closed yesterday. It certainly looks good over today's high, over 160. Go to 5-minute candles here. You can kind of see what it did today. It gapped up. At one point I loved it over this high. I thought we could get a squeeze, and it never got there. Lower high and then another lower high. But I do like it over today's high, so we'll see. SNES. Then PRPO. I've been liking the sub-dollar stocks lately. And you had a spike back here and another spike back here, 64 cents and 65 cents. So love it over that. So today, it sells off a little bit and then reverses and closes at 51. I think this is worth watching. I'm not going to, we'll see. I'd love to get a nice intraday setup on it. There it is on 15s using the color. I mean, it's kind of interesting. If it gets up over this lower high, I don't know. I can't say I'm in love with this one because I like stuff that's really near kind of a breakout, and you don't really have that yet. But maybe this thing chops around and works its way back up over the next week to that 64 cents, and then you'll have a very nice breakout area established. So I'm just going to kind of keep this one on my radar. I doubt I'll trade it tomorrow. And then last I've got OTIV, which back here popped to $1.37. Looked like it was rolling over and then had a nice pop yesterday, and then now you've got kind of a 2-day high right in this area, right around 134, and this high was 137. So if you maybe break out over this area. Not in love with this one either. My favorite of all of them is probably this ADOM, if you must know, looking for a turn back up tomorrow. All right, so that's all I have. We'll add gappers in the pre-market. Oh, I'm going to put a link below this to the Memorial Day special. We're already running it. We're running it all the way through Memorial Day on our course or the course chat room combo, so check it out. We have had 100% positive feedback from our trading course. I'm very, very proud of that. There's a ton of game tape that Wayne took of, level 2 and time and sales, and we show you the chart, and it's all stuff that we were actually trading. It's not like, ooh, look at this setup. We found that, hey, this validates one of our setup. None of that. It's all actual stuff we were trading on A+ setups that we teach in the course. We teach you about 6 or 7 A+ setups, and then also, there's several hours on level 2 and reading the tape and all that too. So you get to see the game tape in the course, and it's pretty cool because it's all stuff, again, that we traded live. So again, 100% positive feedback. So check out that special, Memorial Day special. It'll be right below this video. I'm done babbling. We'll see you all tomorrow in the chat room.